Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Major Push Wrestling, where we give wrestling the major push that it deserves. I am your host, Gino, as always, and joining me today is Matthew, one of my no DQ review compatriots. Matthew, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm glad to hear that. Absolutely. So, Matthew and I were at Saturday night's main event that happened this past Saturday in Tampa. I got my Cena farewell shirt, got myself an extra large because they will shrink, and I want to be able to wear this for as long as possible while I still pump iron and put on some styles. Now, being there, both of us being there, I feel like allows us to provide a interesting perspective on the show. I don't know about you, Matthew, but I did watch some of it back on the telecast. Did you?
I haven't yet. I've got it recorded though, but I just haven't had the time lately, between my car issues and just trying to catch up with work. I just haven't had the time. Plus every other, wrestling show that's on TV. But I've watched a little bit. I understand people's big complaint about the commercials, but I guess we didn't really have to worry about that being there. But I mean, it was something that I'm gonna remember, and I was glad that I did it, and I was glad that we got to hang out for a bit as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to give my thoughts on the event as kind of a whole, and then we'll throw it over to you, and then we'll break down each match individually from our recollection, having been in the stands. So first things first, uh, the doors opened at 7:30. We got there at 7. Lines were what they were because it's at the USF campus, the Yingling Center. It was non-traditional, like there's really only one way in, one way out type of thing. But once we got through that, it's a very intimate venue. There was really no stadium like arena like we could walk all the way around. There were blocked off entrances and things like that. So that was interesting. I've been to this arena for a few events in the past, so I kind of knew what to expect, whether it was my master's graduation or whether it was at the AEW events that have been held there. So WWE is holding an event where AEW held an event. The chants and the crowd energy were absolutely outstanding. We were both in separate 200 level sections. The people around me were energetic. We were both sitting individually without anybody else we knew around us. So that was an interesting experience. I've actually never done that at a wrestling event before. So turning to the people behind me or the person next to me, like, oh, or I think this or I think that, because you can't just sit there quietly. Otherwise, you're going to get touted by Aaron on the No DQ review as a bad crowd, and then they won't go back there, a la Lafayette, Louisiana. So I enjoyed it. The stage was really well done. It had this, obviously the Saturday night's main event does the old school vibe, and that was great. It was really cool seeing the smaller entrance ramp and going there for what the stories were going to be told. And we're going to get into each of those in a little bit, but I had a blast. The only thing that was really hindering my over the top excitement of it was the long lines. Like if I couldn't get merch, I had to order this online because I didn't want to miss any of the event. It's a 2 hour show. There wasn't really even a lot of time to go do a bathroom break or go do a merch wait or go get an extra drink or whatever refreshment. So that was problematic for me. And we'll get into when I decided to go to the bathroom and when I tried to go get more drinks. Um, Things like that. So for overall, it was a very great show. I really like that Aaron allowed us to come on from my car and talk about it, but we're not going to necessarily be giving those exact opinions because we've had a few days to kind of sit and simmer with it, right? Sometimes recency bias can affect our enjoyment of something. So I'm really interested to see how that affected you or did it not. I really enjoyed it. I think that it was a top-notch Saturday night's main event comparatively. So I'm throw it over to you, Matthew, your thoughts overall on the show, and has your enjoyment of it waned, increased, or stayed the same since Saturday?
I mean, like you, I enjoyed it. It's the first WWE show that I've actually been to that wasn't NXT in quite a long time. So the energy, like you said, it was very intimate because of the smaller arena. Yeah, we were in different spots, but I was talking with both people, both on both sides of me, the guys behind me. We were all having a good time. We were laughing. We were joking. We were asking questions. Where's this going to lead? We were giving our opinions on the fact that Mania is not going to be in New Orleans now. We all were laughing that at first we didn't realize who everybody was booing. And then when everybody realized it was Governor DeSantis, and we all started getting into it. And I know one of the girls next to me, she felt bad for the little kids, but everybody was laughing about it. I pointed out Jesse Ventura because a lot of people didn't realize it was him until they saw the lavish yellow jacket he was wearing, and it was just cool to be around all these people. And yeah, the energy, everybody was cheering. Some of the people behind me were cheering "Let's go Cena." The rest of us were cheering "Cena sucks," and it was just this great energy that we were bouncing off each other. And really, I don't think it going back and thinking about it, looking at the pictures I took and things like that, I still feel that it was a fantastic show. I know some people are like, "Oh, it's just a glorified house show," but I mean, being there is an experience. We didn't have to deal with too many of the commercials. My only real gripe was the weird almost 30 minutes between the Chelsea match and the Cena match, which I'm wondering if because of how that match played out, maybe they cut time, but then they just stalled because we got the weird two fan cams, but there was no announcement, hey, we're going to take a 30-minute break or something. If I would have known that, I would have gotten up, gotten a drink or something. So I stayed in my seat the whole time. But like you, my only other big complaint was how they handled the merch. The line, the hallway was already pretty packed, so you couldn't even tell where the merch lines were. There was a beer line, and they all just blended together. That was really my only real other negative is some of that wasn't handled very well. But overall, the experience was worth the money, worth the trip. And if, like I said, if by chance there's another show in Tampa and I can afford to go, I'd love to be able to go again and hang out with you again.
Yeah, dude, it was fantastic. So we met up at the hotel you got. We went to Applebee's, met up with my other buddy who lives in Tampa, actually right down the street from the event. And everybody, basically every single person in that Applebee's was a wrestling fan. You, me, and C-Rod. C-Rod is a guest on the show, guys. You've seen him on the previous episodes. You'll see him on the next couple of episodes coming up too. You, me, and C-Rod were all talking, having almost like a non-recorded discussion,
Yeah.
and the people around us, they weren't even having their own conversations. They were just listening to us. I almost wanted to hand out like no DQ cards and Major Push Wrestling cards, like come subscribe. Like we do this all the time. There were people joining in on our conversations, people with awesome shirts, children, adults, everybody had something different on and was really excited for the show. And that type of energy really started off on a great foot. Like you said, Governor DeSantis was there. We were trying to figure out why people were booing so loudly when nothing was happening. Um, but all of the fans were booing him out of the building for right or for wrong. We're not here to talk about politics, but the fans were booing. I feel bad for the kids? Absolutely. But it's a wrestling show, and people are going to boo who they don't like, and they're going to cheer who they like. And it was pretty organic heat for him. And he laughed. He's probably like saying some comment under his breath about, oh, whatever, this, that, and the other thing, political. But again, maybe it was just people that had a problem with him taking pictures at ringside, and we don't get to do that. Who knows? Who knows? Right. So speaking of that 30-minute break, and we'll get to that more during the Chelsea and Selena match. So we'll put a pin in that. So the first match of the night was a shocker to me. I did not really expect them to open the show with this match. I figured maybe it was going to be a Priest and Drew opening, but it makes sense that you would open with a tag match with really no stakes. And then you build towards that. Title match, non-title match, but the people we want to see, and then cage match, and then title match. So the first match was CM Punk teaming with Sami Zayn to take on Rollins and Breaker in this new dangerous coalition that they've got going on. As far as the match is concerned, pretty pretty standard two non-tag team wrestlers on both sides teaming up with each other. Uh, having those things going on. The chants were fun. Singing Rollins' song was fun. Singing CM Punk's song. Uh, all of those things, barking for Braun Breaker. It feels like there were four baby faces in that match as a crowd member. I don't know if it came across that way on the show for those watching at home. Speaking of which, you mentioned it being a glorified house show. And not because you thought that, but because that's what people are saying. So I think, well, first of all, house shows are awesome.
Yeah.
So if this is a glorified house show, basically all it means is y'all got to watch it for free and we got to have a good time instead of we get to have a good time and y'all get to read about it on NoDQ.com. So with that being said, anytime we can get these types of caliber matches, like we had Dominic Mysterio and CM Punk wrestling on house shows week after week after week before Punk had his first televised match. So like, would you not want to have seen that? Because I would have wanted to have seen that. So anyway, the match was fine. I think that the correct people won. I expect Bronson Reed to be introduced here. I actually kind of thought they were leaning towards a Sami Zayn heel turn. They haven't pulled the trigger on that. Bronson Reed came in. It was cool kind of being able to see from the bird's eye view. Oh, like some people are looking at a rear, or people are running to the stage, the entrance area to see what's going on. So it's very enjoyable. I will say the commercial breaks during this match were out of place and kind of annoying. I didn't expect that they were going to be breaking that often. So I get why people would have a problem with it. But again, you're not even paying $9.99 for this. This is free on basic cable. So when you get something for free, there's a reasonable expectation that that trade-off for free comes with advertisement. Overall, I enjoyed the match. Overall, the right people won that match. So I want to throw it over to you. Your some quick thoughts on the match and Bronson Reed coming in. Obviously, that was spectacular, and now we've got that storyline moving forward. What do you think, Matthew?
I mean, I love the match. Like you said, it's weird, we're in this era, and we talked about this at the Applebee's, we're in this era where people cheer the heels. But like you said, it was like four baby faces because everybody got a huge reaction. We were singing Burn It Down. Then next thing you know, we're barking like dogs for Braun. Then we're going, ole, ole, ole for Sammy. And then we're, singing Cult of Personality all within a span of 5 minutes. And it's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, the match was great. Sammy is always a great underdog that is perfect if you need to beat up somebody and he can take that beating and look good. And at first, I would almost missed Bronson Reed's return because I was so caught up in the action, taking pictures, and then suddenly I see this black blur just start plowing through coming from one end of the ring to the other, and everybody's going nuts, and we realize it's Bronson Reed, and he looked great. I know people are going, "Oh well, Bronson Reed and Seth just fought." But eventually we might figure that out, or it might have just been an enemy of my enemy is my friend, and being that they both hate Punk, it might be some sort of mutual respect out of that. And then of course the pop when Bronson hit the tsunami on Punk, and a lot of us were chanting one more time. They didn't do it, but again, I think this is it was a great match, a great way to start the night. It got the crowd was hot for it. And I'm excited to see where this storyline goes. And somebody pointed it out. I heard it on a wrestling thing earlier today. This is kind of like a new evolution. You have Paul Heyman in the Ric Flair spot. Of course, he's not going to wrestle. Seth is the new Triple H, and that leaves Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed as your Batista and your Randy Orton. And they are two of the futures of the business. And under Heyman's tutelage, they're going to go far. And I'm excited to see where this goes. like you said, a lot of us thought Sammy was going to turn. I don't think they might do the Sammy turn now. Now, especially if they have Bronson Reed. And Sammy
Mhm.
is such a lovable babyface, but they still could. We don't know. But I'm excited to see where this goes. I hope that they don't give. I hope that they don't put Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker in a tag team and give them a goofy name like the Bronze or something. But I know somebody joked about that. But overall, yeah, I want to see more of this, and getting to see it in person. I've never seen Punk live. I've never seen Seth live, and getting to see
Really?
and get it, yeah. Because one of the last shows I went to, I think Punk was still in ECW at the time. So it's been,
Whoa.
yeah, because it's been almost 20 years since I've been to a live Raw or SmackDown.
Okay.
So, I mean, I go to the NXT shows when they come here, but yeah, it's been a while since I when I saw Cena, he was fluctuating between Thugonomic Cena into babyface Cena. So Punk, I think, was either still in ROH or still in ECW at the time. But yeah, it was great to see them. Seeing Braun in person, even the distance we were, he's got money written all over him. He can do everything his father and uncle can plus. So I'm excited for where this goes. And Bronson Reed, as long as he stays healthy, can be that monster that they definitely need that Braun Strowman couldn't be because of health injuries.
Absolutely. So I had seen the name the Brains and the Bronze for them or something like that. That could be pretty funny, but we'll see where that storyline takes us. So more importantly than our thoughts, or what are your guys' thoughts? Let us know in the comments section. And we look forward to replying to everybody that leaves their thoughts. Did you enjoy this match? Did you predict the winner? Were you shocked by the Bronson Reed return? Did you hate the commercials? Whatever you thought, let us know your thoughts. So with that down, I knew that it was going to be a Chelsea Green versus Zelina match. So I decided to take that opportunity to go either get merch or refill my drink. I was not alone in that because it felt like everybody was doing that. The problem then became is I ended up missing the entirety of that match waiting in line. You've made mention that there was the screwy finish and there was a 30-minute delay. Somebody had come by when I was in line. I was like, Cena's up next. Cena's up next. And I was like, ain't no way Cena's coming on in the middle of the show. And then I pulled up my phone to the live feed and it was like, up next, John Cena. So I got out of line and I ran to my seat. And then we had that long delay, video package after Cena doing the whatever. So it was a little troublesome. So I didn't get to see this match live other than the entrances. And it felt like it was over before it started. And we kind of know that there was, potentially an injury and things like that. I do not think Zelina is working as the United States Women's Champion. Chelsea Green has the Pledge of Allegiance. She has the Secret Service. She needs something more prestigious with that. Plus, when she and I'm all for the smaller guys and smaller girls getting their shot. But when she's standing next to Lena Vega, she looks like a Wonder Woman Amazon. And I just don't believe, even with all her comedy shtick, that she's catching L's against this girl at all. So I think Chelsea's going to be taking some time off. I predicted Zelina was going to win, but I wanted Chelsea to win. So I got my prediction right, but not what I wanted, right? Matthew, since you did get to watch the match, what did you think?
Well, first off, um, something we mentioned a lot of about a major part of about any wrestler nowadays is the entrance music. Chelsea is great. You hear that I'm a hot mess. And, you look at her character, you look at her comedy, and she is a hot mess. She lives up to that theme and it pops. Zelina, it says her name, and that's it. It's another tone deaf rebel crap star.
That's fun. That's a good one.
And
That's a good one.
and that hurts her. I mean, Zelina is a beautiful woman. She does amazing cosplays, but you don't get any of that from her character. She doesn't even really have a character. Her character is she's
Puerto Rican. That's her
Puerto Rican,
character. That she's
yeah,
Puerto
Puerto
Rican.
Rican.
Yep.
That's it. And it sucks because she is an amazing talent, and we've seen that the smaller female wrestlers can be good. You've got Liv Morgan, who was the one of the best female wrestlers of last year. You've got Io Sky and Kyrie, who are also on the smaller stature. And I mean, Kyrie maybe not, but Io has proven herself time and time again.
Sure. And then you got
But
Alexa Bliss
yeah,
as
Alexa.
another smaller girl. Absolutely.
But Zelina, there besides her cosplaying, there's nothing to her, and it's sad because she's another wrestler that I've seen on shows like Up Up Down Down, where you see this personality that we don't get to see in the WWE. And that's helping with people like Shelton Benjamin, Cesaro, and it's not just the women, but they need something with her. And the entire match, everybody was like, "There's no way Zelina's winning." Everybody was going, "There's no way Zelina's winning," because people don't believe in Zelina. And I feel
Mhm.
bad for her because she's been there for a long time. She has earned this right to be a champion, but there's nothing about her that screams champion. And the match was a mess. I mean, it wasn't just the botch 619 that apparently broke Chelsea's nose. There was a lot of weird disconnects. And then at one point, we were all watching Piper and Alba Fire. They were doing something. I think they were waving little flags or something. And then next thing we know, the match was over. I didn't even catch the ending. I didn't even because we were all paying attention to what the minions were doing. And the next thing we know, the match was over. So, and I think something went wrong after that, after the botch 619, that they decided to just cut the match. But then,
Sure.
yeah, it was weird because then there was just 30 minutes of nothing. But I did hear something funny. I guess they have confirmed that Chelsea's nose is broken. But Trish Stratus said, "Hey, I've got a mask you can borrow." And I jokingly put in one of the no DQ comments, "Could we see undashing Chelsea Green?" And she would 100% rock that gimmick. She would come out
Yeah,
with the
like
mask
Cody
out.
Rhodes
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a great idea, actually.
And
So, with the effort of time, just because these videos are limited, I just want to get your final thoughts, and we're going to move on to the next one.
I mean, that's about it. I mean, Chelsea has it, Zelina doesn't. But I
Yeah.
don't know how long they're going to keep Zelina as champion, but they need to get the belt back on Chelsea soon.
Well, if she's got a broken nose, it should be a little while because even with the mask, it's still really hard to wrestle with a broken nose. So we'll see what happens with that. So it doesn't matter necessarily what I think, what you think. What matters most is what y'all think. Let us know in the comment section below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you feel like Zelina's played out? Do you feel like she's got more left in the tank with this title run? Whatever you guys think, let us know. So with that down, we have what I didn't buy the ticket knowing that Cena was going to have a match. I bought the ticket knowing that Cena was going to be there, and I needed to take my opportunity for Cena's last opportunity in Tampa. John Cena farewell tour. The last time is now. We needed to do it. It was him versus R-Truth. People were bagging on it. Truth doesn't deserve it. Well, it's not a title match. And then they're bagging on it because he kind of got squashed. And it's like, well, if he didn't deserve the match, he wasn't good enough to fight for the title, and you were mad that the match was happening, then this is what should have happened in the match. So I loved that. Or I thought it was strange that Cena came out first. That like never happens. And so I was thinking to myself, something must be up. And sure enough, it was. R-Truth, because you can't have R-Truth coming out in his music before Cena, so you had to get Cena's music out of the way. R-Truth came out to Cena's music, did his wave, talked to Stu, did the uh, little flag thing, towel that he does, ran to the ring, hit the thing when his music dropped, basically gave us face Cena, and his shirt said, Ron Cena and all of that stuff. And it was fantastic. And R-Truth is a treasure. He hit the moves against Cena, the five knuckle shuffle, the attitude adjustment. I still want to call it the FU. And it was just a really enjoyable match that served its purpose. It did exactly what it needed to do. I cheered Cena. He ain't going to catch me booing Cena. I really wish we got color. I really wish that he would have bloodied him up and beat him up. But having what happened at the main event, I understand now that that's their way of getting Cena some heat, not beating the crap out of R-Truth. He faked him with the title, then kicked him in the groin, and so he was playing that character without having to bloody him up. And I think that they didn't do that because it was a nationally televised thing. You don't want the color on the show and all that stuff. So I really enjoyed it. Cena's my dog. R-Truth really can do no wrong. So, and again, it wasn't for the title, so we thought R-Truth could have won. If it was for the title, zero chance R-Truth has any chance of winning. So I'm going to throw it over to you because we don't have a lot of time left. What are your thoughts on Cena versus Truth before we get into the final two matches?
I mean, like you said, I was there one. We didn't buy the tickets just for Cena, but it's great to see him. R-Truth is a treasure. I love the whole Ron Cena thing. I love the fact that he came out to the babyface entrance. Yeah, we expected a complete another beatdown, but this was still, if you were there in person, you had a smile on your face the entire 5, 10 minutes, 5 minutes or whatever the match went. And it did what it did. It entertained. I know those two have a long history and a lot of respect for each other. And this was just something for the crowd to enjoy while Cena continues to be a heel, but now we question maybe could he go big? Is he regretting what he's doing? And like you said, R-Truth is a national treasure. And for the man being in his 50s, it's amazing how much he can still do and how much he's still over it with people, even if he is a comedy act. And, I loved every minute of it.
Awesome. And then we had that backstage segment where he's like, I'm going to retire with the title. And then Logan Paul, a YouTuber, is going to have the other title. That almost could ruin wrestling. I was like, yes. If it doesn't end that way, I don't know what I'm going to do because they tease that, but Triple H loves to tease things and not pay off to it. But we're not here to back on Triple H. We love Papa H. He's only creative control. He's not part of the company as a whole. For some reason, people think that he took Vince McMahon's job, and all he did was take the creative aspect of his job. But whatever you guys think, let us know in the comment section below, and we look forward to commenting on that. So we got two matches left, about 8 minutes left to go. So we're going to get through this. Next one is Drew versus Priest in a cage match. It was really well done, but nothing too special as far as the cage match is concerned. The thing that everybody's going to be talking about is how it ended. For me, I predicted Priest needed to win, even though I would have rather Drew won. He got concertoed. That's about as brutal as you can get on a guy like Drew. He acted like he was done, like done, like not breathing. And they had the whole stretcher gimmick for like 5 seconds, but then they did away with that. But it seemed like Priest had a crisis of conscience and didn't want to win that way. But it's like, I'm tired of the dumb baby faces. Let's get smart baby faces. Smart baby faces take their wins what they can get them because a win's a win. And especially when this guy's had your number for the better part of a year. So what did you think, Matthew?
I mean, this was to me the match of the night. I do wish Drew would win, but I also kind of see why they did this. With the rumors that he is hurt, this writes him off. My only complaint is I miss a cage match where somebody wins by climbing over the top. And I know Jesse Ventura made a big deal about that. We didn't know that because we don't, hear them on commentary. I didn't hear about that till, the review. But overall, I thought the match was good. Both guys are great. I'm curious where they go from here for both characters. Is Priest getting is he regretting some of his decisions? Is this some sort of turn? And, how long is Drew going to be out? And when he comes back, can we finally start seeing Drew winning matches? But I mean, besides that, it was great. I wish we got an old school cage match, over the top instead of just walking out the door.
The door isn't locked and can be opened upon request is not only ruining cage matches, it's ruining cage matches in wrestling video games too. Like that was never an option before. I don't like it, but these guys are really tall, really big feet. It's really tough, and I didn't see any holes cut out in the cage, so I didn't really expect them to go over the top anyway. But it's still those were cage matches to me. So I agree with you on that. So thank you so much for sharing. Whatever you guys think, comment below and let us know. We look forward to reading all your comments and letting us know if you agree or you disagree. We're all wrestling fans, whether we agree or disagree. That's the beauty of the art that is professional wrestling. So, with that done, we moved on to the main event of the evening of Saturday night's main event. Main event, Jey Uso, the champion versus Logan Paul. Yeeting was very fun. Gonna
Oh
say
yeah.
that right up top. Yeeting was very fun, but we didn't have a lot of time left. Almost like in this video right now, we didn't have a lot of time left. So I was like, we can't get an encore yeet. They're gonna have to rush this. We saw the Cody merch Tampa Nightmare. We presumed Cody was gonna be coming for the Cena match. Didn't happen. Are we gonna get Cody? We got like 10 minutes left in the show. What are we gonna do? Logan Paul and Jey Uso was never going to be a technical classic. Logan Paul is great in the ring. Jey Uso is serviceable. Neither one of them was going to be able to carry the other. So the way they did the spots and stuff, I think it worked for those two. And that's why, like you said, Drew versus Priest match of the night. As far as wrestling is concerned, absolutely. Even though CM Punk was on the card, Rollins was on the card, this was the true wrestling match. So Jey Uso retained his title against Logan Paul, and then we had that Cena run in, and then you'll see that for the thumbnail of the video. Cena and Logan Paul are now going to be facing Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, who returned to help make the save on Jey. And then they played a little bit into that into Monday Night Raw that Jay's going to help his boys are going to help him. I think that I'm really wanting Logan Paul to win this World Heavyweight Championship, but there was no way he was going to win it with Gunther waiting in the wings and Seth Rollins waiting in the rings. Like, first of all, I think it's stupid to have who they're going to be facing afterwards, but whatever. It is what it is. So, what did you think about the match? We've got about 4 minutes left here. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the last match, the main event of main event, starring main event?
I mean, I love the eating. Doing that in person was great. We thought originally Jay was behind, literally like 4 rows above me. So we thought he was going to come down my row, but they ended up moving him down. So we all got excited because we thought we were going to be on TV. Didn't happen.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
the
even
eating.
got up and went up there. I was like probably 10 people away from where he was standing. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my God, I get to see the Yeet coming down, maybe on camera. No, then like you said, he walked to his normal
yeah.
aisle that he walks down, but good.
But yeah, Logan Paul was great. I mean, I enjoy Logan Paul as a wrestler. Don't care about him as a person, but I can separate the two. I love the spot where he drank the prime, threw it on Jay, and overall the match was good. I would have liked to have seen if they could have had a serious match with more time, but then we got the Cena stuff, we got Cody. After the match, we got to sing Cody's song, and I'm excited for the tag match as long as Travis Scott and The Rock aren't involved. And I know some people are like, oh, well, no, both titles aren't going to be defended at Money in the Bank. But isn't that what Money in the Bank's supposed to be about? The Money in the Bank matches? So I'm
Yeah.
excited for that. I'm curious who's going to win. Is Cena actually going to take a fall? Is Logan Paul going to take a fall? Or is Cody and Jay going to lose? So I guess we'll figure that out once we get to the no DQ prediction in a couple weeks. But overall, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the show. It was an amazing time. And I want to see, like you, I'm not sure where we're going with the J title reign because I don't want to see Gunther lose again. And I'm worried that's going to happen because we could be setting up Gunther versus Goldberg. But I don't know who's going to be the first person to beat Jay. And like you said, I'm not a big fan of, oh, well, now Jay's going to be facing Seth. He's going to be facing Gunther. He's going to be facing Braun. He's going to be, it kind of makes it hard to, get into it because now it's like, now we speculate, well, who's winning, who's losing. And, it feels like they're rushing Jay's title reign.
And they had a really short title reign with the Intercontinental Championship. I would be fine with a shorter title reign here, especially since it doesn't seem like Cena's going to be dropping that strap anytime soon. But overall, the show was awesome. It was really nice to meet you in person. Whatever you guys thought about the show as a whole, about this specific match, where do you think this is going with Cena and Cody being involved now with Jay and Logan? I think Cena's going to get booed out of the building now that he's with Logan. Logan has that heat. Tampa is not shy about telling you who we like and who we don't like. Um, so it was a lot of fun. It was a great time. I recommend going to a Saturday night's main event if you have the opportunity to. Yeah, it was a quick show. Like Cody came out with 3 minutes left, and we knew they weren't going to have any overhang. That was televised, but he allowed us to sing his song, and he gave thanks to Jey Uso, and Jey Uso gave thanks to the city of Tampa because this is where he got his start at FCW, right there on Belle Mabry before it was NXT. So it was great. Tampa is the home of the WWE, other than in Connecticut. It was a lot of fun. It's very nice meeting you. And whatever you guys think, do you agree? Do you disagree? Again, this is the beauty of being wrestling fans. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining us, Matthew. Thank you so much for joining us, those who are enjoying this. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one.